of all, greetings to you if you are watching this through squaredoctagon.com. It's run by a good friend of mine that now hosts all my MMA related videos, or at least the recaps and the prediction videos. Second for you, yes, I do own birds, and if you don't like the noise they make, I don't care. I suppose I shall jump straight into the fray. I'm going to talk first about the Matt Hughes and BJ Penn match. We'll start with how on earth can loads and loads of people say that Matt Hughes is arrogant, ignorant, racist, or whatever it is that they have a problem with. And how can they use that in comparison with BJ Penn? I don't know. Let's have a look at who talks the most smack, shall we, for a start, or who is the most outrageous in terms of disrespect in the octagon. You really don't need to take a look at either guy's history to know that, yes, Matt Hughes might be a Christian, but at least he isn't bringing void belts to the ring. At least he isn't running out of the ring, you know, in mock surprise, or whatever it is. At least he doesn't lick the blood from his gloves off his opponents. All things that BJ Penn does, all things that people seem to overlook when they want to talk bad about people they, well, particularly about Matt Hughes, but about people who bring, you know, their sense of morality into the ring. And yet you will note that BJ Penn does think that we should be grateful that he has honoured Matt Hughes by returning to the ring when it was suggested to him by one of his cornermen that maybe he should for the result to be announced. As if that is some sort of thing that we should all, you know, hail him for, you know, something that's pretty much compulsory. He's now queued, I hear, to fight John Fitch, which is interesting for me because John Fitch is known as one of the people who the management strongly dislike. There was the AKA fiasco about a year or so ago when, you know, Dana White lost his rag with John Fitch, and momentarily excluded everybody who came from American Kickboxing Academy. It was later, of course, overruled by somebody with more sense higher up the chain, but there we are. Ever since, he has been hated on, I think, by the management. He's a contender, has been a contender forever, and they find ways, means and ways of not letting him go back for a second fight with Georges St. Pierre, and this is just another way of using a skilled fighter like Penn, who happens to have won, to try and stop somebody who is legitimately going towards the title, I think, from getting there. Like a win over Matt Hughes suddenly propels BJ Penn to be contender. I don't know. When people have, you know, made it quite clear that, you know, oh, Matt Hughes is close to retirement, you know, must be burnt out, quite old, and yet suddenly a win over him qualifies stardom. Well, there we are. And let's have a look at this win. You know, it was very quick, and that's one of the reasons why I am not going to recant on my BJ Penn is better at lightweight and pretty rubbish at welterweight. If this had been a TKO stoppage in the, you know, second round, with him having dominated Hughes for a whole round, I would say yes, maybe so. But this isn't. This is a person who is motivated to fight somebody who he has a grudge match with. Okay, so there's a past there, and he knows that if he doesn't, he's in trouble with his record. Those two things are not going to exist when he fights, further welterweights unless he ever gets his title shot. So can we really count on him being, that good? He is brilliant, but not at welterweight. And I'm going to wait now and see. But I suspect we shall find that out very shortly. That unless he's strongly motivated against somebody like Hughes, and his win even then was, I wouldn't say lucky, but it was one of those things that can just happen. It wasn't particularly because Hughes was rubbish or anything like that, and it wasn't particularly because BJ Penn was so skilled. It was just one of those things that occasionally people get caught and somebody else capitalises. So I wouldn't go blowing this out of all proportion. The other thing I shall say about the match, quickly, very quickly, the whole card that is that Brian Foster won. And not only did he win, he finished. That is somebody to look out for. He's moving up. He's being challenged by the UFC to fight higher people each time, but not hugely out of his limit. He was an underdog in this one. He won and he finished. And I think that we should think very highly of him for that. Paul Kelly also won, which now means that he's probably not in danger of being cut anymore. I thought he might. The other two things I want to say is that I totally disagree with the results of the Nick Lentz and Tyson Griffin match. And I also totally disagree with the results of the Rampage Jackson and Lyoto Mikada match. Although I have to say, now maybe Lyoto knows what it feels like to be Shogun Rua for the night, and to have legitimately done enough to win, but be squashed out of this win by a panel of judges, which are probably blind anyway. The only other person I want to talk about is the guy whose name goes on forever, Miguel Jose Falcao, whatever his name is, The Sentence we shall call him, and how he won because Gerald Harris may or may not have gassed. I would just say, shouldn't he have been disqualified in the first round for the choke that he just wouldn't let go of? And hasn't somebody else in the UFC been dismissed for holding a choke on when he should have let go? I'll leave that one with you, whilst I also say George Sotiropoulos won, and I told you he would win, and as that's like the only real one that I absolutely got and was absolutely fantastic at predicting, I thought I'd just bring it up because it would be a shame not to. On the whole, this card turned out to be quite hard to call, and lots and lots of people that I know, lots of people who are usually very good at predicting, didn't do as well as usual on this card, so I don't feel quite so bad. But there we are. That is my recap of the event, and I make no apologies. So sue me.